Hey, morning all. As you can see, it's Friday, and I am recording this. It's basically the screen. I'm recording the screen, which is horrible. I appreciate to look at on YouTube, and you'll probably have to sort of extend it a bit. And it's all in portraits, and because of the orientation of this screen and the ratio, it's very tall to look at. So, as you know, this is the Honor 8X, and we're going to have a look at the GUI today. And the screen is massive. It's 6.5 inches. It's really big. This is the main interface. I haven't really changed it that much. I've just kind of installed a few of my apps, like I put Gboard in here, Twitter and WhatsApp and Spotify and Strava and some Shazam is what I've put on there. Now, when I'm looking at the specs, now this one is actually, this phone is off the display stand. So, it's got a few extra bits and bobs in it. So the phone in the UK is going to have 4 gig of RAM, as you can see here, and it's going to have 64 gig of internal storage. That's the screen size, as you see, 2340 by 1080. You can put a micro SD card in, and this particular phone has got a slot, a tray for two two SIM cards and one micro SD card, if I get right. Yeah, I think I've got it right. So you can switch the interface to simple mode, which gives it nice big buttons, simple layout. So if I apply that, it's going to make it look bananas. Well, it's going to make it look more simplistic, so that you can have it looking like that if you wish. However, and here you go, you can switch around the settings, and you can turn that off if you want. You can hear it's clicking. So what else have we got in the settings? So I'll just go through the settings because that's where most of the funky stuff is. Obviously, you got your wireless and networks, your dual SIM settings. If I did have a secondary SIM in here, and by the way, there's one thing I should mention, and let's not get the jitters about the 11% battery life. Oh, there you go. You can turn on the ultra power saving. Just as I mentioned that, you can turn on the ultra power saving. To be honest, the power and the battery life is fantastic. I've had this running for quite some time now, nearly over 2 days now, and it's running at 10% remaining. So you can have the dual SIM settings, but I must mention before I get distracted again, this has got 2 bars of 4G at the minute. I am in a field at the minute with hardly any signal. There really is not much signal at all, so it's great to see 2 bars there, because on my previous phone, a Samsung handset, I would get maybe 1 bar at best, so the signal reception is better. So you've got tethering. You can do that. You can go into there and hook your tethering on, turn your tethering on. You can go into the dual SIM settings. You can set which of these cards is going to be your default calling SIM, or you can get it to ask each time. You can have dual SIM 4G, so it uses both SIM cards for the 4G, and you can enable forwarding between the calls, which is a great little tip. I've only got one SIM in there at the moment. Device connection, we've got obviously the NFC, so you can do the mobile payment systems. I nearly said mobile paying. You can do the mobile payment with Google Pay, etc. And you can do the Huawei Beam and the Mirror Share, so you can send your picture, your screen to your compatible TV. In here, in apps, this is where, and by the way, you've got App Twin on here, so you can have 2 apps running on there. You can set the notifications, you can block certain apps from being able to send you little updates on the top of the screen. Here in the apps screen is where you can do certain trick things, like if I go to, let's say, eBay, and I go into, where is it? So that was installed from the store itself. Let's go into, I think it was Strava. Yeah, if I go into Strava, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah. You see how I put on the bottom, force the full screen display? That wasn't set as default, so it didn't use the whole screen. It wasn't a big deal, but you can force it there to use the entire screen, which is better. It's got the SwiftKey keyboard, which is the default keyboard. I've removed that and put Gboard on there just because I just gel better with it. It just works better for me. So yeah, so you can tweak the screen size per app on there. We've got the battery saving. You've already seen that it's been running with the ultra power saving as flashed up. It will adjust the screen resolution when the power gets low. So you got 2340 by 1080, which is a high quality screen resolution. It can dip down to HD plus, which is 1560 by 720, as you can see there. So we can optimize the battery usage, and you can click that and it'll go away and have a look for apps that are maybe using power intensively, and it will manage those automatically. I've set certain apps like Strava to be manually managed, so I don't want the Huawei power management system, because it is a Huawei handset. Huawei. It's an Honor handset, but it's built by Huawei, let's admit it. I don't want them to manage that particular app. So we can go and change the battery percentage and not show it, or show it in an icon, or put it next to the icon. We can alter all that bit. There's a lot of granularity. Good grief. As you can see, it's 8:53 in the morning and I haven't quite woken up yet. We've got the sound. I've got a load of sound settings as usual. You can change the ringtone per SIM, so you can have one for your, let's say, your business SIM card, and one for your personal SIM card, so you know what sort of call to answer. Loads of options in there. Storage, you can see how much storage I've got. I've got loads free at the minute. Haven't really used the internal storage much on here. You got your security and privacy. We've got a fingerprint reader on the back of this phone, which you can put in there. You got your face unlock, and you can see various bits of information on there. You got an app lock as well, so you can lock certain applications out so that nobody can use them apart from yourself. You can go into your cloud accounts here and set those up, change them, and that's about it really for the settings screen. You've got this phone manager, which you just saw a little bit of with the optimization, but you can do a cleanup, and you can block certain calls as well, which is great if you get loads of spam calls. We have a cleanup here, which will check for big files, because I don't know, if you're anything like me, you'll probably know that you're going to be using a little bit too much. You're going to be downloading and taking loads of photos for taking photos of everything really, the cat and the, I don't know, pictures of beer and stuff like that, and you can optimize it and clear it out there. You've got a virus scan. You've got the battery life here, which you've already looked at. You got the mobile data here, and you can see how much data you're using, and you can tweak apps, and you can go into here and you can maybe stop them from using mobile data so that they don't use as much mobile data, which is a great little tip. And so that's a great little addition there. What else we got? We've got themes, so you can change the way that the phone actually looks. If you've got a Huawei account, it's even better, because you can go and get additional themes. Here you can see the various wallpapers here, so you just pick one that you like. Some are free, well, most are free, and then there's some ones that you have to pay for, and there's some featured ones here. Hong Kong scenery, so let's have a look at the scenery ones here. Look at that, that's pretty, isn't it? That's pretty. So it doesn't just change the backdrop, it actually also alters the way the entire phone looks. So here you need a Huawei ID, but you can, basically it will change the icons and everything else to match, so it won't just be a wallpaper, although you can just go into the wallpapers here and just change that. There's categories, there's the top most popular ones, etc. Really good. You got your music here, so you can get all your music off your phone, and you can go into there and you can have a listen to certain tunes you may have accidentally downloaded off the internet. You got video, you got settings, you got Play Store, you got all the Google stuff in here, including YouTube and Duo and photos and slides and docs, etc, etc, etc. So it's really quite good indeed, I must admit. So here is the gallery. As you can see, I've got the AI mode was enabled on a lot of the photos I took for the SpyTrack review yesterday. Here you can see this has used AI to capture this particular photo, and you can go up here to AI and you can turn it off, turn it on. You can see how it's boosted the colors, and you can see the difference on that particular one. We've had a good old look at the camera already, and you go onto map and you can see where your photos were taken, which is really quite cool. And you can do a slideshow, you can share your images by just clicking and holding them, or selecting loads and then clicking share, and then you can share them to wherever, say WhatsApp or various other places. So where was I before I got rudely interrupted? Yeah, so you got docs and sheets and photos and all that various stuff. You can obviously drag widgets onto the screen here. We've got High Care, which again, if you've got a Huawei account, really comes into its own I haven't got that, but that's the care package. An app gallery system in here. What else we got? You got file manager, so you can have a look at your files, and that's all categorized into various different types of file: audio, video, documents, archives, etc. You can do the cleanup that we've already seen. We've got the health system, which hooks into various wearables that Huawei sell. Again, you need a Huawei ID for that. I've got the smart band, and it connects into that system. And you've got a clock here where you set your alarms. You've got world clock, and this stopwatch here. You've got a timer. You can do all those various funky little things. You got email if you've got a bog standard POP3 email. You can also put Gmail onto that, or you can use a separate app. You've got a calendar which is also synchronized with your Google Apps account or your Gmail account. You got Notepad just for writing little notes should you wish. Hello, and by the way, I'm using this is how I type. I type like this as I find it quicker than tapping the screen. So that's how I type anyway. So what else have we got on here? So we've got Notepad. Honor, this just takes you into the website, I believe. It would do. Look, I've lost my 4G now. I'm down to HSDBA. Yeah, so that's down there. Got some tips to help you get around the phone and what you can do and how to take great photos. We've got a party mode which connects in with other phones, and you can play music back with various different phones. So you can have a stereo sort of surround sound effect. It's quite cool, that is. You got an FM radio. You'll need a 3.5mm audio set of headphones to act as the aerial for that. You can go into your contacts. You got a calculator. You got a sound recorder. You got a torch. You can turn that on. You got this game suite, and you got a compass. So I'll just load that up. There you go. There's my compass. What else do we have in here? SIM toolkit, all the usual stuff. Facebook, all the top apps, which are Booking.com, eBay, Netflix, and games, which are all these are pre-installed. These work very well indeed. And then everything else I have installed. Now, I know you like looking at the screen here. It's very nice, but you go into display and you go into home screen style. If you don't like it in the standard format that you've just seen, you can flick to a draw format like that. It will take a while to load, and then you'll get a blank screen. No, there you go. But then you can click down here and you'll get all your apps sort of down here like this. So if you like it in that format, and then you can search for certain apps. Whoops. See, this is why I type and swipe. You can search for apps like that. So if you want it displayed like that, it's great. However, if you want it displayed as default, you can do that too. Click on that. Bosh. It'll take a while to load. Also, by the way, in their display, I forgot to mention here, so we've got the brightness, which is set to automatic. Got eye comfort too, which you can have it dip the screen at a certain time to help your eyes. You've got, and there's the wallpaper, the notch at the top. And again, on this video, it won't show so much, but there is obviously a notch in the middle here. You can hide that by doing that, and it blanks out the notch on the top of the screen. We've got the view mode, which is, you can change the size of the font, etc. There's the font, and you can change the size of the screen. The smart resolution, which we've already seen, and the auto rotate. So that hopefully is a great little run through of the interface, and do let me know if you would like anything else, and I'll try and cover it here.